Hey everyone, this is DWS Darius and welcome back to the fish room. So it's been a while since I gave you guys a look down here. So today I want to bring you guys up to speed. We're going to look at all my aquariums and we're going to talk about what's been happening. So we're going to get right to it and we're going to start off over here. I have my smallest aquarium down here. This is a 40-gallon tank and this is my quarantine / hospital aquarium. Now I haven't had any sick fish luckily, and I also haven't bought any new fish. So for a long time this tank was empty. But I like to keep the bubbles running, I like to keep the sponge filter operating just in case there is an emergency. But I felt as if I was wasting electricity having this tank empty for so long. So I went ahead and I bought me some ghost shrimp. And the goal is to get these ghost shrimp to breed. And that way I can have some snacks for some of my cichlids that you're going to see later on. So I have about a dozen ghost shrimp in here. And hopefully in a little while we can have a lot to feed to some of my cichlids. Beside the 40-gallon aquarium, we have a 125-gallon aquarium. And in this aquarium I have two jaguar cichlids. Now these jaguars have been through a lot. This is my male, and he used to live inside of my 880-gallon aquarium, but then one day I decided to take him upstairs to my 210-gallon aquarium along with my golden female, which was bigger than him. The golden female actually almost killed him, so I ended up having to make a quick decision and I brought him down here to this 125. I brought him down here with the female. The female, she used to live in this aquarium. So I brought them together. They've been in the tank for about a month and here we are today. We have a bunch of wigglers down here and we have some nice parenting going on. When I first added these to the tank, they were very shy, very timid, and mainly because the male has been moved to 3 different aquariums before this tank, so it was with good reason. But now it's nice to see he is responsive, and that's because these fry are becoming more and more alive, and that's causing their parenting nature to just come out. So they're in here, they're looking good. Most likely this is not a permanent setup, but for now it's definitely very entertaining. Above my jaguar cichlids we have my 350-gallon aquarium, and I'm going to call this my Central American cichlid tank. All the fish in this tank are not from Central America, however the Central American cichlids are my main focus. This tank just received a rescape. I'm definitely loving the look of it. It kind of looks like a sunken forest. And I just love the way that it's very interactive. It creates a lot of caves, and I'm pretty sure the fish love this scape as well. When it comes to the fish, I have 5 bala sharks. These fish were added as thither fish just to create more movement in the tank and to decrease the tension between the cichlids. They're doing a good job at that, but eventually once these cichlids get big enough, I will be taking the bala sharks out just to create some extra space. I want to find another aquarium for these bala sharks because these are awesome fish, but this tank will not be their permanent home. After that, I also have a Madagascar cichlid. I chose this fish because it's very beautiful. It was on my wish list for a long time, and I find that it coexists with the Central American cichlids very well, so it may be a long-time resident. I also have a male Feste in this aquarium. The Feste is a South American fish. I was growing them out for my South American aquarium. I wanted the female because the females are less aggressive, and in my opinion they look better. I ended up with a male, so I'm going to watch this guy. And if he proves to be too aggressive, I'm most likely going to rehome him. He is a very beautiful fish, but my South American aquarium is just not that aggressive, and I don't want to disrupt the peace by adding a male Feste. After that, we have a few catfish that are from South America. I have a bristlenose pleco, I have a green phantom pleco, we have a striped Raphael catfish, and then we have one African big eye catfish. And after that, the rest of the fish are all from Central America. So we have my female pierceye, which is the dominant fish of the tank. She's the biggest fish at about maybe 10 inches. The reason why she's the biggest is because she's the oldest. Eventually most of these other fish will catch up in size, if not grow bigger, and most likely she will no longer be tank boss. After that we have my Jack Dempsey cichlid. I love the fish that I've had for a long time. This guy is very beautiful. A little bit deformed, but he's a nice fish in this aquarium. We have my Mayan cichlid. I also believe is a female. Can be aggressive, but because it's a female, that aggression is limited. We have a black belt cichlid. We have my favorite, Vieja bifasciatus. I have 6 of these fish, and they look incredible. I have a Vieja argenteus, another very beautiful fish. Vieja berhoderi, Vieja pink fenestratus. We have a Dovai jaguar hybrid. And we also have a Dovai, which at the moment the Dovai is the most aggressive fish. It's a female Dovai, so I'm going to watch her. I'm also going to watch the Jaguar Dovai hybrid, and if these guys prove to be too aggressive, they will be taken out of this aquarium. But that is the tank as of today. Looking good, not too bad when it comes to aggression. Like I said, the Dovai is one fish that I have to watch, but as of today, nothing too worrisome about their aggression. And just overall a nice community, very active and just very enjoyable. After that, we have my 880 gallon aquarium, and this is my largest aquarium, and I'm going to call this my South American aquarium. Now, all the fish in this tank are not from South America, and we have 2 of them that are not from South America, but eventually I will be taking them out, and this will be a complete South American biotope, and definitely a very enjoyable aquarium. There are a few problems, but first let me introduce you to the fish. So first off, we have Cyclotamensis, my biggest fish of all time. This fish is close to 2 feet long. This fish is about 9 inches tall, and this fish is about maybe 5-6 inches thick. So definitely the biggest fish that I've ever had, and is still growing. A champion of a fish. And a lot of times you guys don't really get to see how much space that these fish actually have. And I have this new wide angle lens, and you guys get to see that that's a 2-foot fish. Now, it's not the most space that he could have, but it's not terrible. So yeah, that's what we're working with when it comes to him. And then we have Cyclamano, another big fish. This guy is close to about 18 inches. And out of all my fish, this is my most pet-like. I could go and actually pet him. Let me see if he does it on camera. A lot of times on camera they like to act differently. But if I go and stick my hand in there, and look at that, I'm pushing his body over. And that's the good thing about Cyclamano. From my experience, these are the most boldest peacock bass you could get. I have 2 of them, and the second one is definitely just as bold. He's back there. The second one I'd say is about maybe 13-14 inches. Currently is being attacked by this guy, my most aggressive peacock bass, Cycla. Look at him. As we speak, the Cycla Orinoco is bothering him. The Cycla Orinoco is actually at the moment my most aggressive fish, and I'm actually considering rehoming him, which is a shocking thing because I love peacock bass, and for me to rehome a peacock bass, you know it has to be very bad. This guy is attacking this guy, my Cyclamano. He's also attacking my Geoffrius because they're the same color, and he's also attacking my female jaguar. So he's causing a lot of problems, so I'm keeping an eye on him. And then finally with the peacock bass, we have my Cycla Azul, very peaceful peacock bass. The fish is about maybe 14 inches, and yeah, pretty much minds this business for the most part of the day. After that, we have the Oscar cichlid, smallest fish in the tank at about maybe 8.5 inches. And I think that this fish just loves the space. It doesn't cause any problems. It just sits there and just floats around. And it's a small fish in a big tank, so I think it just enjoys the extra space. After that, we have my flagtail Prochelidus, one of my all-time favorite fish. Very calm, very peaceful. Every now and then he does wrestle with the peacock bass, but definitely nothing to worry about. This fish is about maybe, I'd say 17 inches, maybe 16 inches. And this fish spends the majority of his day grazing on algae, keeping the tank nice and clean. So just definitely a nice fish to have in this aquarium. After that, we have my pike. Pike is just a nice shaped fish. You have all these fish, and the pike really sticks out when you look at his shape. He's kind of like a torpedo. Can be very aggressive at times, but for now he hasn't been causing too many problems. So that's him in there. We have some catfish, South American 4-line Pictus catfish, one right there. That is about maybe 10 inches. We have another one back there, which is about maybe 12 inches. We have my Geoffrius, a fish, very rare. And when I put him in his tank, he was about maybe 8 inches. And now he's about 12 inches, so he's growing very fast. And it's nice to have such a rare fish get so big in this aquarium. As I mentioned, he is being targeted by my Orinoco, so I'm going to have to watch that closely, because I definitely don't want this rare fish to be killed by the Orinoco. So the Orinoco is definitely the biggest problem that I'm dealing with out of all my aquariums. After that, we have my female jaguar. As I mentioned, she received some damage from the Orinoco as well. It almost looks like she has swim bladder, the way she sits on that wall over there. So I'm going to have to keep an eye on her. She was with my male, but she almost killed him. So for now, she's in here, but eventually I will take her out and just give her some more attention. And then finally, we have my ghost knife, a fish that you won't be able to see. He's living in the PVC back there, but a fish that I get to hand feed because he's used to me. And then there's a African bitcher that eventually I will be taking out as well. But yeah, that is the 880 gallon aquarium. Very nice aquarium. There are a few adjustments I will have to make, but for now it's doing great. I love the fact that these fish live in here with these plants and they don't bother them. So we got some nice growth on these plants. We have Java Fern, we have Anubias, and I can't wait until all this wood is just covered with the plants. And really quickly, on the same topic of plants, we have these terrestrial plants growing aquaponically, and they're just an effort to help me lower my nitrates and just I'm starting to love plants. These things are awesome, they look nice, and they just have so many benefits. So we have a giant peace lily in the middle, we have another peace lily, we have Boston ferns, we have Dracaena, pothos, we have some nerve plants. So just definitely a very nice way to just benefit your aquarium. Okay everyone, the last tank in the basement is my 125 gallon African cichlid aquarium. This tank is inspired by Lake Malawi. I have a group of Mbona cichlids, and these are rock dwelling fish that come from Lake Malawi. They really depend on the rocks for safety. They get their food source from the rocks because they eat the algae that grows on the rocks. So they really need rocks, and that's the reason why I have this tank set up the way it is set up. I actually just did a rescape, changed the rocks around a little bit, just for a fresh look for 2022. We have some nice features, like I have this double cliff, which I really like. We have some nice archways, a lot of caves. I'm pretty sure the fish appreciate it. I see them in and out all the time. So just a nice look. I'm not going to go into too much detail with the fish because there's a lot of fish in this tank and there's a lot going on. But these are some very beautiful fish. A lot of different colors, a lot of different personalities, and just very bold fish. I could go and stick my hand in the tank and look at these guys just come all around me. And just a very beautiful aquarium. It's a high energy aquarium. There's always stuff going on. It's very cool because I could come and find a bunch of babies surviving in the rocks and the cracks and crannies, and just overall a very nice tank. And I think Mbona cichlids altogether are very underrated, and give them a shot and you definitely will enjoy them. So I have about 20 to 25 Mbona. I'm not sure how many because these guys keep reproducing. I also have a Brisnose pleco, and I also have my African leaf fish living inside this tank, and it's definitely a very enjoyable aquarium. Okay, so this right here is my 210 gallon aquarium. Not looking too great, looking very unorganized, looking almost like a tornado came through, and that's because this guy, he came through. This is Anonymous, and I ended up putting them in this aquarium. I told you my jaguars, they were in this tank, but I felt the need to take them down because the male was very shy after he just got beat up by the golden female. So I put them in his tank and I had to bring him up here. And this guy, just look at that. He took this tank, he owned it, and he destroyed it. I had a bunch of plants growing up here, if you remember. This wall was full of plants. There was plants everywhere. And he pulled them all into the tank and ripped them up. This one is just now starting to grow back, but I'm pretty sure eventually he's going to rip that up too. He's moving wood around and he's just destroying his tank. But a nice fish to have up here. As you can see, he's very interactive. And I have a plan for this tank to make it a little bit more enjoyable. I want to give it a nice rescape, something that he can't destroy. I have an idea of a scape that I don't see too often, and it will look really cool. I'm just not sure if I could pull it off with this fish, so I'm going to reveal that a few weeks from now. He's in his tank, and then he has this little female convict. A while ago, I fed this guy a bunch of baby convicts, and he ate all of them except one, and that one ended up being a female. She's in that cave over there. And really, they have no problems together. He never attacks her. That's her right there. She's trying to see if I'm going to feed him. But you saw her just went in a pot. He never attacks her. And I'm thinking they may eventually become a mated pair, which would be very crazy to have 50%, no, it would be 25% jaguar, 25% dovi, 50% convicts if they do mate up and have babies. But yeah, he's in his tank, and he took this tank. This is his aquarium. And he's, look at that, biting the glass. But he's in his tank and he owns it. Okay, so this right here is my no-tech system. We have two 20-gallon aquariums, and as you can see, there are no plugs, there are no wires, and that's because there's no electricity on these aquariums, and they're doing awesome. I will say that during the winter they are slowing down when it comes to plant growth, and that's just because with all these windows we do have a draft, and I guess that cooler temperature causes the plants to be stunted when it comes to growth. But everything looking awesome. I love the height of these water palms, close to 4 feet tall now. We have plants like this Dracaena. I like how wide it opens, and just everything looking great. Again, not too much growth right now, but I'm pretty sure by spring everything will restart. So in this aquarium over here, we have my female paradise gourami who started it all. She's right there. I just fed the tank, so she's not going to pay me too much attention, but she's in there looking for some of the crumbs. And she's sharing this tank with cherry barbs. Now, it started off with 4 cherry barbs. You can see my one male who's very bright. And then we have some females. And these guys are actually starting to spawn. So if you look within this grass, this is dwarf sage, you can actually see some of the babies down there. And we have about 3 babies that are surviving in this jungle of dwarf sage. So it's nice to see the cherry barbs surviving and thriving in this aquarium. And it's pretty interesting. This tank does have a filter, does have a heater. The water temperature is about 65 degrees Fahrenheit, and these cherry barbs are thriving. So that's pretty cool. And then over here, we just have my young generation of paradise gourami. All of them were born in this aquarium, and right now they're at the point where you could sexually differentiate males from females. The males are getting bigger, getting a little bit more aggressive, so they're probably going to be in this tank for a few more months, but then I have to figure out what I'm going to do. I might actually just switch out altogether and try a new species, but for now these guys are in here, and they have the same personality as their mother. They come right up to me. I can hand feed them. Again, I just fed them so they're not too aggressive, but you can see them right now on my finger, and paradise gourami definitely have some great personalities. But overall, these tanks are doing good. Like I said, they're on a standstill because of winter, but by spring I'm pretty sure they're going to kickstart again, and we're going to get abundant growth of plants and everything like that. Okay everyone, so this right here is the final stop, and this is the backyard koi pond, about 1,000 gallons. Today we have a very cold day. It's about 34 degrees Fahrenheit. Yesterday the high temperature was 29 degrees Fahrenheit. And the next few days it's going to be pretty cold, and I think it's pretty shocking for these fish because last week we had temperatures in the 60s. They were swimming around, and now here we are and we're freezing. So I think that is pretty stressful, but these guys handle it so well, and that's one of the reasons why these guys are just so awesome. One thing that I did notice that is pretty cool is that even when the pond is in its off season, we still have some growth of plants. So this plant right here is thyme, and it's starting to grow. Well, it's not starting, it's continuing to grow even in the winter months. We have some growth over there, so that means by the time spring comes around and it's time to turn this back on, all these cracks and crannies should be full of thyme. That's the herb, and I think it's going to look really cool and just going to be very beautiful. But yeah, this is the pond. It's really very cold out here. We have more cold days to come, and these guys are going to stay asleep like this for like 3, possibly 4 more months. So definitely my hardiest fish, and yeah, that is what's going on. But yeah everyone, that is a look at the fish room as of today. Now I hope to get back into the flow of making videos. For all my subscribers, I definitely appreciate you guys. I thank you for being patient with me. December was just a very busy month for me. January is also pretty busy, but I'm going to do my best to give you guys some content because you guys are awesome. And I have the content, I just need time to actually record it because these fish are always doing something new. But yeah, thank you everybody for taking the time to watch this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions or comments, let me know in the comment section below. Also, if you want more content, you could find DWS Darius on Instagram, DWS Darius on TikTok, and I do have more content on those platforms. But yeah, that will be all for today. Like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.